Greetings to all my fellow watch enthusiasts on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this video might be seen and shared. Celine Driver once again bringing you another unboxing and review of a watch that is mine. And let's face it, almost every Zelos I review on this channel is mine. This watch is a little special. It's a little different from most Zelos that I own in the case of where it came from. Most of the Zelos watches I have, in fact all of them, either came directly from Zelos or directly from Zelos via a purchase from a previous owner. This watch, however, is from a very rare authorized dealer of Zelos. I think there's two. I might be wrong on that. Certainly there's one. And I think there's another one in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, but I'm not sure about that one. But there is certainly at least these guys. Get this out of its sleeve here. Serious Watches, an authorized reseller, dealer, whichever you prefer, of Zelos. They are, I believe, based in the Netherlands, so Europe. And they do sell on their website, and I'll leave a link to their site in the description. They do sell a variety of Zelos watches, and they occasionally get one model, a few models, one per release, I guess, that are exclusive to Serious watches. So, very exclusive, and the only way to get that particular model is via the Serious Watch website. And I have one of those watches here. Now, I didn't buy this from Serious Watches. I think when they released, I was asleep or away from my computer because I didn't get the chance, and they all disappeared really quick. But they all ship in the Zelos case. They all come with the Zelos card. They're all Zelos watches. They just happen to be exclusive model for Serious Watches. And in here, I obtained the Serious Watch Hammerhead 3 Titanium with the forged carbon dial and the teal indices on the bezel and on the watch dial, and teal inserts in the hands. This is exclusive only to Serious Watches. Take it off of its little pedestal there. But otherwise, this is just like all the other Zelos Hammerhead 3 Titaniums that were released at the same time. This was in June of 2023. I didn't get a chance, as I said, to buy this watch from Serious Watches. I was wanting to buy the watch. I had arranged with one of the buyers that if he didn't like the watch, and I'm not going to mention his name because I don't have his permission to do that, he told me that if he didn't want to keep the watch, that he would sell it to me. He decided after playing with the watch for about a week and a half or 2 weeks that he was going to keep the watch. And I put out a post on the Zelos Timekeepers group on Facebook that if anyone had one of these watches and was willing to part with it, let's talk. And a few people responded. But the first person to respond and give me a price and a PayPal ID was a gentleman named Rob Z. That's his screen name, and I do have his permission to use that name, screen name from him. And ironically, very ironically, he lives in the same city I do. So he became the second person I met who actually owned a Zelos. The first person being Random Rob, but Random Rob doesn't keep any watch for very long, and so technically he doesn't own Zelos. He just kind of catches and releases them. As a matter of fact, he was the guy that bought my Swordfish Damascus Light, the one with the blue meteorite dial and the Damascus bezel insert. I bought that right off of his wrist when he came and visited me a few Christmases ago. But Rob Z actually lives in this town and is actually also a Mustang enthusiast. So when we met and I picked the watch up from him, we sat around for about 45 minutes and talked watches, talked Mustangs, talked living in this city that we both live in. And he's a great guy. And, if somebody's thinking of doing a sale or a buy with Rob Z, he has my endorsement. Great guy. Ex-military and wounded in the theater he was in. So thank him for his service. Absolutely. And we talked about that for a while too. Unfortunately, I did not serve. By the time I got to that point, I was too physically beat up from other things. But obviously I met up with him. I got delivery, so I didn't have to pay shipping. I didn't have to wait around for the post office to screw me. And I got a beautiful titanium Hammerhead, and it's in perfect condition. I think he said there was one link with a screw that was stripped out. It might be that one there. It didn't bother me that much. But the other links, are over here. They're in great shape. His wrist and my wrist were very similar in size. I just had to play with the micro adjuster, and the watch fit perfectly. In fact, I'll give you a wrist shot right now to show you that the watch fits just fine. And if I need to adjust it, I can do that later. And on my 7.25-inch wrist, the Hammerhead 3 has always been a wonderfully fitting watch. Obviously, with a short lug to lug, this watch can fit a lot of different wrists. Even though it's a tall boy, it's a thick watch. There's nothing subtle about the Hammerhead. Never was. And I've owned all 3 generations in brass, steel, and titanium, and none of them are subtle. Not brass, bronze. What am I saying? But this watch is in great shape. Micro adjust on the clasp is the current generation with the push-pull on it. You push it in, you pull it out, you can see the extension you have, and you can just push it in very easily. Actually, that's one notch. There it is. That's where I had it before. What was it? I'll figure it out later. Milled clasp, double push button lock. So you just push one button in, it's not going to pop. You need to push both buttons. Solid as always. We have the H-Link bracelet secured with screws, as you can see. Fitted end links. Does not use quick release spring bars, so you'll need a spring bar tool. And be careful, it's titanium, so it's, susceptible. 120 click bezel. Solid as Zelos bezels generally are. And lines up perfectly. No slop. Oh, I think I missed. Anyway. Very vocal. Yep, there it is. Solid lock-in. Indices are marked from 20, 30, 40, 50. The first 20 minutes are unmarked. to differentiate them from the other ones when you're diving. The loom is blue. It will glow blue. Sign crown, now that glows in green-ish. And, very typical Hammerhead design. We've seen all before. The multifaceted case, the crown at the 4 o'clock. Sapphire crystal. It is slightly domed. This dial is a forged carbon dial, as you can see, with a color-matched date window at the 6 o'clock. It is a forged carbon bezel insert inside a titanium bezel. Let's see. NH35 movement underneath in the typically engraved hammerhead case back with the twin hammerheads swimming through a trench. 300-meter water resistant, as is the case in the 3rd generation hammerheads. The 1st and 2nd generation hammerheads were 1,000-meter. This is a 300-meter. It is a 44-millimeter case, 13-millimeter thick, 22-millimeter lug, and 48-millimeter on the tip-to-tip. That the 48-millimeter tip-to-tip is why this watch, even though it's a tall boy and a pretty round boy, it is wearable on 6.5, maybe even 6.25 inch wrists, but certainly 6.5 and above can wear this very well. Certainly fits really well on my 7.25 inch wrist, as you saw previously. It's a fantastic example of the Hammerhead 3rd generation, with a unique colorway. And never put your watch's crown down. Never, never, never do that. Great example of the 3rd generation Hammerhead. It has a uniqueness to it because of its 1 of 100. This is actually number 15 of 100 from an exclusive deal with Sirius Watches. So makes this watch, to me, extra desirable, even though it's already a very desirable watch to begin with. And that forged carbon dial just looks fantastic. Focus. Come on. Yep, there we go. Each carbon dial and each carbon bezel is also unique in and of itself, owing to the way that forged carbon works. So a great watch. I'll leave a link to Sirius Watches so you can see what other watches they offer. They're not just a dealer for Zelos. They looks like they deal with a couple of dozen different brands that you all know and may love. So good, check them out. What the hell? Especially if you're in Europe. So I hope you found this video to be entertaining, useful, enjoyable. If you did, click that thumbs up button for me. That does help with the YouTube search algorithm. Helps bring people to the channel, and fortunately the channel has been growing lately. I like to keep it growing as much as possible. Comments, questions, suggestions down below. I do read them all. I do respond to them all. However, if you are going to try to troll me, you're going to try to insult me, or you're going to leave links to bad places on the internet, I'm simply going to delete the comment and block the commenter. If you're new to the channel, of course, welcome. I'm glad you found my channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll take the chance to enjoy many, many videos. I'm coming up on 1,000 videos uploaded. Not quite there yet, but getting close. So plenty of entertainment and information for people. All I ask in return is that you click that subscribe button down below the view window. And don't forget to click the bell icon too, so that when I upload new videos or I do a live stream, you will be alerted to these things. And as I always say at the end of my videos, it is a crazy old world out there. It is not getting any less crazy. So please, when you're out there, Be careful, stay safe, be well. I'll see you soon.